Hello everybody to this very special video, and I have something really interesting for you guys today. So in today's video I'm going to be trying Roblox but in Linux, alright? Now you've seen the news and like the hype around Linux recently, and so why not just give it a try and play Roblox on it, you know? I mean, like, that's exactly what everybody does, you know? Now I'm gonna be playing Roblox here. As you guys can see, this is Linux now, and I'm on a different account entirely. You know, as you guys can see, this is how the Linux thing works. Haha. Here's a few apps I installed, you know, just to test things a bit. And yes, this is Linux. Wait, let me just show you guys. So, oh, well, I need to install it first. Alright, so, and yeah, look at that, boys. KDE Neon User. That's the OS. So yeah, let me just close that real quick, and let's play a few games. And I've already played some, you know. I guess let's start with my OG game, you know, the game I've played most in this channel. And as you guys can see, the whole thing is like graphics, you know. As you guys can see, the whole thing is max. So and frame rate and stuff, you guys can check this out. And yeah, it looks kind of bad. And I'll get to that, you know, later on in this video. If you do want to skip it and check out all the nerdy stuff that I'm gonna be diving into, the timestamp here in the screen, as you can see, you can skip to that if you want the nerdy explanation. For now, I will be comparing the games a bit, and oh wow, dude, that is a pretty rough thing. I mean, essentially every game in Linux that's a bit glitchy, you know? Wait, what the heck is this, bro? Hey, yo, did they flood this whole thing? Like, I don't know why this is glitching right here. Is this like the new driver update, or is this like how it is? Like, usually this is a result of like clipping, you know? Like when there's like two objects that are fighting over, which gets on top of each other to display. That's when what happens. And you know, most of the effects, you know, it's pretty normal stuff here, obviously. And you guys can also see here that I've also, you know, like, where's the thing here? Like, yeah, look, VFX toggle, all of it. Distance, very far away, no limits. Car limits on screen, no limits. Alright, let's go to a game that's a bit more graphically compute, you know? Which I would say will tell you exactly the big difference between these two. And this is Demonophobia. Now there are obviously many games where you can test it out, but I think this one's really good for good at it. And right off the bat, you can see how pixely things get. You can see how this thing is absolutely pixelated. Like, look at this compared to me, like here. This is because of optimization. Now, what is this optimized for? Well, this is optimized for mobile. CoolHatNoob, isn't this about Linux? Well, I'll get to that, as I said. Bruh. And as you guys can see, this is how it looks, you know, like this is how things are. Look at the trees over here. You know, the stuff here, the lighting itself. You can see a lot of stuff here. You know, it's really bright here. Obviously, you can go inside here and turn lights on, you know, just like so. And it looks pretty like, you know, low quality, you know. Like, even though I have like my settings, graphics quality to like the maximum, it's still, you know, it's still really bad. And here's a few screenshots for comparison as to, you know, just to show you how different it is. So this is Windows and this is Linux. And holy, that is crazy. Now that I've shown you how different Roblox is on Linux compared to Windows, now I'll tell you exactly why that happens. And it's actually because of how Linux is. Basically, the client I showed you was Sober, which by the way is like somewhat, you know, acceptable. Since even a Roblox dev acknowledged it on like a Roblox dev form. And the way the Roblox client even works here is because of a thing called emulating Roblox. It's not that it's actually running like Windows version of Roblox in like Linux. It's actually running the version of Android on Linux. So Sober works by using Linux's endpoints and translating them to Android's API endpoints, which basically emulates how Roblox will interact and run on Linux. Thus, Roblox functions on Linux Now that's because the kernel that Linux uses is actually similar to how Android's kernel is. It's actually just a forked version of Linux's kernel, with fork meaning, you know, taking something original and open source and kind of tuning it in your own way, something like that. And by the way, kernel, if you don't know, think of it like kind of the brains of a computer, you know? Think of it like, you know, your software tells your kernel, hey, I want to render all these frames. And then the kernel goes to the hardware and then computes the actual frames and then displays it, basically. This obviously is in simple words because obviously saying this would absolutely just destroy your brain probably. It's not something you learn in 2 minutes. So, and that's basically why Roblox kind of looks trash on Linux. It's because it's using the Android version of Linux, which if you don't know is kind of actually a lowered down version of the Windows version. So yeah, that's basically it. See ya.